I think a bit of a combination of the two, to be honest. I can see a bit of both. I think he's gonna try and maintain this kind of this wild man atmosphere around him until the fight, and then as soon as first round starts, he's going to be as calm as a still lake. I think he's playing a game here, and I think he's going to fully invest in it during fight week, which should be quite entertaining.
So for me, I've never been, A, to a fight in Vegas, and B, after all these years of being around the MMA world, I've never been to a Conor McGregor fight, not a fight week. So then, talk me through what we can expect from that fight week, from the moment that we land in Vegas on the Tuesday afternoon.
Obviously, the press stuff all week. You've got the open workouts, you've got the media day, you've got the weigh-ins, of course, and then the fight itself. But in and around everything that involves Conor McGregor, you've also got all these offshoot kind of media engagements as well, because it's Conor. So everybody's in town. Everybody wants to talk about the big fight. Everybody wants to talk about Conor McGregor, the biggest pay-per-view star active today in professional sports. And honestly, you couldn't have wished for a better fight to cover Thursday, OJ, in Las Vegas than a Conor fight. It doesn't get any bigger than that.
It's going to be incredible. I mean, the thing is, people will notice as soon as they get off the plane is just the buzz in the city. There are going to be a lot of fans there on both sides. I think there are going to be a lot of people turning out for Khabib as well. And it's just going to be a celebration all week. I mean, it always is around a Conor McGregor fight. It's a party as soon as fight week starts. The fans attend every UFC event that they have going on during fight week. The open workouts are going to be buzzing. If there's a press conference, that'll be packed. There's going to be flags everywhere. I'm just buzzing. I can't wait to land. I can't wait to get out there. The other thing as well, you've got to consider, everybody that's already been to a Conor McGregor fight, even if they don't buy tickets for this event, there are still enough Conor McGregor fans to sell out this arena many, many times over. Like, I don't think it's going to be the same kind of buzz as all of his other fights when he was on his way up. And I do think there has been a little bit of an opinion shift on him. Certainly what I experienced when I was in Dublin last week, the people that I was speaking to, there is definitely a shift in opinion, and they don't feel like the support is going to be there like it has been before. But I still think there are enough people that are fanatical Conor McGregor fans to show up and make enough noise to change Vegas, to change the face of Vegas. And I also think that we're going to get a big turnout of Khabib fans as well. I think there are going to be a lot of those big sheepskin hats walking around Vegas next week in the sweltering sun. So I think it's going to be a really interesting week.
I just want to pick up, Dan. You said there's been an opinion shift on Conor McGregor in Dublin as well. I was there before the Mayweather fight, talking to people, and he was a hero. Are you saying it's shifted from that?
Yeah, I am. It surprised me, to be honest. I mean, the best people to talk to when you land in a city, in my opinion, are taxi drivers. And I always get into a good conversation with taxi drivers to and from the airport, in between, one place and another when I'm traveling between interviews and stuff. And they obviously speak to a lot of people when they're transporting them around the city as well. So that, there's a lot of current conversation going on in a taxi. And after the New York thing, both of the guys I spoke to basically said that it was the only thing everyone was talking about when they got in the taxi, and they were all disappointed at how he's negatively reflecting upon the Irish people. So like that surprised me, because obviously I've been out to Dublin several times. I was there when he fought Brandao, and he's celebrated like a hero, and I still think there are a lot of people that do, but there is definitely a shift in opinion, which we might see on fight night. I just think there are going to be enough Khabib fans there to make up for the lack of Irish.
Is that not an age thing, though? Because you're talking to taxi drivers and the people taxi drivers are talking to. I must admit, I chatted to a taxi driver when I was there, and anyone who was over, I would say, 35 or 40, let's say 40, didn't like McGregor anyway, because they thought he was a negative stereotype of the Irish. Do you not think maybe the young still think he's great, still think he's so outlandish?
Yeah, well, I think so. Like I said, I think there are enough Conor McGregor fans anyway to still make it feel like a McGregor fight week. But the difference is, OJ, like, you're traveling around in limousines, so they're obviously driving like older people with like businessmen, that kind of stuff. So I understand. I'm the Uber guy. I'm jumping in the back of somebody's taxi that's dropping their kids off the next morning at school. So I'm having conversations with the people on the ground, and that for me was surprising. I absolutely agree with that. I mean, it's what draws people to Conor McGregor, because he's polarizing, and in this day and age, you have to be extreme. And I think that I think he learned a lot from the Mayweather fight. I think he realized that there's a lot of money to be made in people wanting to see you lose.
Yep.
And I think he realizes that because Khabib is unbeaten, because he's got a massive nation behind him. I think Conor McGregor's quite happy to play that game.
You played the heel a few times in your fight career, Dan. Can you be that Teflon that you're making money, people are watching, the fact that you're getting hate and people want to see you lose can inspire you, that you're just not bothered by it?
I don't know, to be honest. I mean, I think it's a bit different because I was never making enough money to make it worthwhile playing the heel. I just think people dislike me because of some of the things I said. There was not as much of a thought process behind it in my case. I don't know. I mean, the reality is Conor can already go and buy an island and be Richard Branson's neighbour. Do you know what I mean? He's in that, not by island, by an island. Like he literally could. He's in that situation now. So it doesn't matter the impact he has on the rest of the world. He can just disappear into a hole and we'll never see him again and he'll live a life of luxury. He's still playing this game because he wants to, but he's got that money in the bank now. So this game he's playing, this is for fun for him. And as I said, I really do feel like it's all a game. Like I said that on the last podcast, the moment that they asked him about the Diaz-Poirier fight, he immediately took his mask off. And he's so good at that. He's so good at switching that role very, very quickly. I think as soon as the fight's over, no matter how it plays out, I think he'll be the person that he was after the Diaz fight when he lost. You know what I mean? I think he'll be humble. I think he'll be respectful. And I think we'll realise then that he was playing a game, and that's why we love watching him fight.
I'd always assumed, he's definitely top 10, top 5.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Nick. I think the thing that we all take into account automatically when we think about Conor McGregor is the impact that he's had on the sport in general, and you kind of put him in the top 10 rankings just based on that. Technically, if you break it down to ranges, his striking, I would say, is probably top 10, top 15. Mm-hmm. Because not necessarily the variety of skill that he's got, but his understanding of timing and range. I mean, we recorded Inside the Octagon yesterday. It's the longest episode we've done. It's nearly 50 minutes long because there's just so much to talk about. And when it comes to Conor McGregor's understanding of range, it's a thing of beauty. Like there's a knockdown that I pull apart from the Eddie Alvarez fight. And I'd even overlooked it the first couple of times I watched the fight. But when I sat and put myself in Conor's mind in that moment, to see the game that he's playing and how he's baiting Eddie Alvarez to step into his punch is just incredible. And I do liken that kind of understanding to someone like Anderson Silva, who, in my opinion, is probably the best striker in all of mixed martial arts, just because of the variety of finishing techniques that he had. I think Conor has that understanding, just not necessarily the variety of technique, but he's striking, yeah, but not the whole package, probably not, no.
So snap poll right now. Who's winning this fight?
Conor.
Yeah. The truth is, if you'd asked me 4, 5, 6 weeks ago, I'd have said I think Khabib's going to probably beat him up for 3 rounds and stop him in the 4th. But the more research, and I'll be honest, I've lived this fight for a week now to do this show, and I'm just seeing more and more that Conor can stop him, because like the gap in Khabib's game is the gap that Conor can exploit before Khabib can get his hands on Conor. And I do feel like Conor's ground game is underestimated. He's got great balance, great takedown defense. I think he scrambles well. The only thing that lets him down is if he's forced to scramble and work hard for a period of time, he'll get tired. And I think that's where Khabib finds his way in.
So here's the question then. So if you both think that Conor's going to win this fight, what do you need to see over the next week in Vegas, whether it's the press or the open workouts, whether it's the media day? What do you need to see that would change your mind and think that Khabib is going to win?
Improved footwork and striking. I think his understanding of wrestling is so instinctual, and it's amazing to watch. He can just kind of flow from one thing to another. His chain wrestling's amazing, and that's the kryptonite of Conor, because that will force him to defend more than one takedown, in quick succession. But he just, I mean, Nick's been following boxing for many, many years, and you'll see it in Khabib's footwork. Yeah. He follows people in circles. He's easy to walk onto stuff if you understand that game. Yeah. And I think he's been very lucky that he's not fought anybody that's managed to do that to him so far. I mean, we got excited about the Barbosa fight, but Barbosa's a kicker, and you need so much more space and time to set up a kick like that. And Khabib just kept him running backwards. And Michael Johnson he's a wrestler before a striker. I don't think he has that understanding of how to set those traps. But I think Conor does, and I think Conor might be the first person that Khabib's fought that is on that level when it comes to striking.
Yeah, I think Ali Quinta's got good hands for the division, and he caused Khabib all kinds of trouble, and he came in at late notice, and he's not even ranked in the top 10. So Conor's on a much higher level than him. But for me, the next week, what I want to see from Khabib is him actually handle it. Handle the week, because no one else can. You know, Dustin Poirier couldn't handle the week. Jose Aldo certainly couldn't handle the whole press event. Max Holloway ultimately couldn't handle the week. No one. Eddie Alvarez completely, just completely fell apart in there. This is a guy that's won world titles in multiple organisations. When he got in with Conor, he just got absolutely lit up like a Christmas tree. And I purely think it's down to the week. This following week now, what's coming ahead for Khabib, this is going to be the toughest fight for him. What happens inside the octagon next Saturday is going to happen. I think technically now, both guys aren't going to advance too much more. At the stages in the career, they're both at the top of their game. I don't think Khabib can handle Conor with his hands, and I don't think Conor can handle Khabib on the ground. But that's going to play out. What happens now is psychological warfare. How can Khabib handle being in the Conor McGregor circus when so many others have fell apart? Is he going to be able to maintain it? And having managers speak up for him at press conferences and then getting shot down and their own dirty laundry dragged out in public the way what happened in New York, that's going to affect Khabib and his entire team even more, because they're going to be enraged. And we've only seen the tip of the iceberg. Next week is going to be Conor McGregor's world. Can Khabib survive in Conor's world when no one else can?